I used to die a lot to that build before I started making Sunkens against it. But the way you scout that out, you look at their main, if they have no lair, it's 100% a Zergling all-in. You just have to survive, and you'll be fine with your Mutalisks. So this is our last game. It's Ash Ball versus Vigamox. So I think a different Zerg was supposed to play in Vigamox's place, or no, Vigamox was a substitute for another Zerg. So I'm guessing that Ball did not have a much chance to prepare for this particular player, but we'll see how it goes. PvZ is always kind of a difficult matchup, and this is tier 1, by the way. Wow, Ball with 550 APM versus Vigamox's 125. This is
I'm guessing.
two different types of players right here for sure.
Yeah. Not too into spamming his hotkeys, Vigamox.
Yeah. Personally, I find it does help, but when I spam my hotkeys, I'm doing a specific rhythm that's unique to that matchup. Like, for instance, when I'm spamming my hotkeys at the start in PVs or a ZVP, I'm doing 4SH, 5SH, 6SH, 7SH, like practicing macroing Hydras in the late game, not just hotkeying my hatchery to 1 through 9 and running my finger down the keyboard. But
Right.
there's a lot of players that don't see value in that. They're just like, well, there's nothing going on at the start, so I'm just gonna chill out and relax. So this is Overpool by Vigamox. Honestly, this is the funny thing about this matchup. I don't see any reason not to Overpool in this matchup. I think that's the only build that really makes sense, because you can 12 hatch, but you are liable to get cannon rushed. And I used to 12 pool in this matchup because, Protoss are not likely to do some sort of really aggressive 2-gate all-in, but actually, after I analyzed it with some, S-rank players, they basically told me that 12 pool is the worst of both worlds. Because your lings won't be out in time to defend against the 2-gate, and they won't be out in time to defend a 1-gate, and you won't have the larva advantage to defend a 2-gate because your hatchery is going to be later, and you won't have the creep at your natural to defend either. So it's like 12 pool is like the worst build you can do, even though you think of 12 pool as just being right in between a 12 hatch and a 9 pool, or a overpool, I mean.
So a little unfortunate for Ball. He wasn't paying attention, and his probe got sniped by just 2 Zerglings, I think it was. Usually you can dance around 2 Zerglings until you see the lair, if you do it correctly, but he is going to send out another probe here.
It's very early to be losing your first probe, but yeah, he should be able to get in with the second one. There's only 2 Zerglings out on the map, so this is like a heavy macro play by Vigamox. He's already taking that third base. And I don't know, this third base is kind of... I wouldn't take this third base, because...
Really?
Yeah, it's actually quite... Like, I think if you're going for a Hydra play, if you're gonna go for like a 5-hatch Hydra or something, you just take the mineral only, because you don't actually need that gas that early, and it being closer, you're able to rally your Hydras a little bit quicker, and then maybe expand out in the middle of the map and take the middle third, or the middle fourth base. And if you're not gonna go for a Hydra style, if you're gonna go for 6-hatch, or like the refugee style where you go with Sunken Mutalisk, you would just take another natural, because it's quite easy for Zerg to defend their natural on Aztec, I think. But this base is very, very safe, is the thing. This is a very... it doesn't give you prospects of a very fast 4th gas, but it's easily defendable with lurkers. You can SimCity it really easily, so not a bad base to take overall. But it'll be interesting to see what build he goes for. Lairs coming up, so I think this should just be normal 3-base Spire, 5-hatch Hydra.
Yeah.
Maybe 6-hatch. from the looks of it, Vigamox looks like he's a very heavy macro player because he only started with 2 Lings, which if they go gateway first, you're putting yourself at the potential to take damage. Looks like baal is adding a second cannon though, so Stargate coming up. This is just standard play. He looks pretty secure. Oh, actually adding a third cannon.
Yeah, and the Zergus added that Spire like you were saying. Maybe he will take that third gas earlier, but yeah, I can understand about the expansions, why it would be better to expand closer first.
I think adding
Yeah.
this third cannon is solely a reaction to losing that probe a second time. Because he could
Right.
potentially be hit with a dangerous timing. You know, you saw Lair. That does not mean that Zerg has to go for a Spire, necessarily. They could just get drop and drop 4 Lurkers into your base, and then you're dead. So, you know, you just gotta be careful about that kind of thing. Adding a second, or a third cannon, excuse me, just for security reasons. Vigamox already has good saturation at his third. So this is just 5 hatch Hydra. There's a Hydralisk Den, and he should be getting his second gas quite soon after. Corsair's flying in. He should not stay for this because the Scourge are about to hatch. He's actually gonna stay, and he's just gonna harass that Overlord a little bit. One general rule of PvZ is that if your Corsair arrives at their base after the Spire is done, you do not have enough time. Oh wow, he already loses that first Corsair. But yeah, you do not have enough time to stay and kill one Overlord. Because the Scourge are going to pop and get aggroed onto your Corsair before you have a chance to finish it off. If you arrive at their base before the Spire is complete, then you can stay and kill one Overlord. And if they have no Spire and they're just relying on Hydras, well, you're probably going to kill, like, you know, 4 Overlords and then just win the game. So
Vigamox was able to clean up those Zealots that came out for baal. And he's done a great job, like you were saying, denying the scouting, getting that first Corsair, getting that scout probe early, and now taking out those first Zealots. He's playing very standard, but I think he's playing strong with this build where, like you're saying, the 5 hatch Hydra.
And I think baal was actually trying to trick out the Scourge. He did not show a Corsair completing, or a Corsair building in the Stargate, and then as soon as the Scourge flew away, he started one. So maybe trying to bait Vigamox into a Mutalisk switch. You know, if you kill that first Corsair and then you fly over their Stargate, and you don't see any more Corsairs building, it's so tempting to pull the trigger on those Mutas. And, you know, it can even still be a good play. And, oh, I love this move. M-clicking the Scourge on top of the Zealots to follow their movement. You know, you're never going to get surprised by a Zealot attack, and he is just so well prepared with Hydras already. This Vigamox's macro is insane already.
Yeah, he's got his speed and +1 timing, but that's a strong amount of Hydras there at the third. I don't think this is going to do anything.
Yeah, I would expect so he's just gonna try and dive in and kill these drones. He's gonna save 4 Zealots, but they're all bruised. Now, what I would expect Vigamox to do right now is just walk right across the map with Hydras. Because when Protoss throws away their Zealots like that, where they're just clicking on drones and trying to snipe as many of those as they can, they're throwing away some of their only ground army remaining at a chance to do economic damage, while you still have all of these Hydras that were sitting at your base defending. Oh, and he's gonna lose more trying to run in here.
He's got Storm finished though, so hopefully that will buy him some time, but he does need, like you're saying, Zealots to at least tank some damage so he can get the Storms off on the Hydras.
Yeah, Vigamox just reacted perfectly as well. When those Zealots run in and they start sniping your drones, you want to be making drones. Because they're, like I said, they're throwing away their army to do economic damage. But look at this, 4 Templar already. So
yeah,
I don't
he was able to save some of those Zealots at least that were sent out on the map.
Yeah, I think he's pretty much safe now. I don't think a coordinated Hydra attack is going to be able to do anything. One of these almost has 2 Storms already by the time that these Hydras are in position. So he'll have 5 Storms to defend, basically. +1, or +2 is starting now. Excuse me. Looks like both players are just powering. Zerg not really looking to take a third base at this point. Still on, six hatcheries now. Queen's Nest coming up. Okay, so this is going to be sort of a hive rush. Generally, you want to start getting that hive right around the time you take a fourth base. And we're already at 10 minutes. The greediest fourth base you can really safely get is around 8 minutes. That's very economic and risky. But 10 minutes is a good timing to take your fourth base, especially when you have this much map presence. You see Protoss can't even move out on the map right now. Although, the Goon's coming out now. This is sort of when Protoss can begin to start poking out, looking to take a third base.
Yeah, and he's gone up to that 7 gateway count, so that's pretty powerful macro off 2 bases.
Yeah, actually, you know, as a Zerg, you can kind of judge the Protoss' ambitions by their gateway count. If they have 6 gateways, they're pretty confident that they can take a fight and secure a third. If they have 7, they're a little bit less confident, and when they go up to 8 gateways, that's when they're really feeling the pressure, and they just want to take a big fight and hopefully, you know, annihilate a big chunk of your army and take a third base behind that, or just go all in with some sort of tech instead of taking that third base. So 7 gateways is a nice place for him to be right now. Lurkers at this third base. It looks like he's going to go for another main. That's interesting. It's less likely to get scouted, that's for sure. Ooh, he's going to lose a bunch of Corsairs in the middle. Oh, wow, he loses every Corsair.
Oh, that feels bad. He's at least pushing down this narrow ramp, so it looks like there's going to be an engagement here with these goons fighting the Hydras.
Oh, Megamox is just going to back up. Oh my gosh, though, look at how large his army is back at home. He's got all of his hatcheries rallied to this central ramp. And it looks like he might be trying to bait Baal into a fight where he's going to try and pull Baal's army towards the third and then surround him with these units that are near the ramp. But Baal does not want to commit.
These Hydras are all clumped up. Let's
Yeah.
see if he pulls them on time.
He's pulling back towards his main army now. Lurkers are up at the fourth base.
Pumping a lot of lings here, and he's getting that upgrade too. Now he's got the hive.
Yeah, Baal's putting down a third Nexus. I think he's still in good position, but the fact that Vegamox is ahead in supply is a little bit worrying. Oh, and now he's going to swarm in with lings.
He's going to need some good storms here. He's got a nice position, the Protoss does.
He's able to zone out these units with Storm quite well. Oh, wow, big storms, actually.
Yeah, those are going well.
And he's not losing any Templar. He's still... Oh, he's going to morph him into Archons. It looks like Baal is actually macroing quite well back at home as well. And I think he's pretty happy to take this fight. I mean, he's getting his third behind this. This is a pretty comfortable place to be. Oh no, the Templar are going first. Larker's
yeah, and those
in
actually have storms on them too, so it sucks to get your army that like this kind of reset for the Protoss, I would say.
Yeah. Defilers are out. We haven't seen the fast.
And these unsupported goons are
yet,
just gonna get owned by speedlings.
Yeah, they're cracklings, I think. Yeah. Ooh, that's rough. Zealot counterattack is going to get completely shut down. This is kind of a weird place to take a fight. He's got a small number of goons here, and Vegamox has already shown himself to be quite crackling heavy. So I guess he's just going to retreat here. This is an interesting pylon wall at the third. I like it. Cannons coming up, and it's mostly lings coming across the map. So he should be making mostly zealots, I would think.
Yeah, so he is expanding to that main, like you were saying, on the far left of the map, the Zerg is, and Baal's expanding towards the Zerg, and he's trying to get this gas. He's got the third base running, at least, with some cannons.
Yeah, and actually, Vegamox has been a little bit slow to saturate this this fourth base. He's got a Nidus up now, so I guess he should be transferring some drones over there, but Baal is actually faster to saturate his third base than Vegamox is to saturate his fourth, so potential comeback here if he takes a good fight. More High Templar coming out. And it looks like Vegamox is just going to try and posture towards the middle of the map. Adding more hatcheries.
He's got a good spread of units there that he pretty much has complete map control, or at least vision of everywhere. So he's got the Protoss backed into a corner here, and he's not building any more Corsair. Or there he started one, and he's trying to get a Reaver going. So we'll see how this goes into the late game. He's got 2 Robos now, at least.
And also, Vegamox is doing an awesome job of scouting for potential expansions. He's got an Overlord at every single base to see whether the Protoss has expanded to those locations, even having a Ling at the 11 o'clock. So nothing is going to catch him by surprise. And I think, I'm wondering what Vegamox's endgame composition is going to be. He seems to just be going with this Hydra, Ling, Lurker, Defiler sort of composition with heavy emphasis on the Zerglings. Yeah, he's gonna send a small force over here to try and deny this fourth base. And this fourth base is actually looking under-defended. I don't know about these cannons.
Yeah, the Zerg almost moved on it with his whole army. Now he's kind of backing away, but he has finally saturated that base kind of at the 9 o'clock. So I think he's at an advantage here. So he doesn't need to be too aggressive. He has a big gas bank, so I don't know if maybe he goes ultras. I don't know how Zerg plays this in the late game.
Yeah, the ultras are a really stylistic choice. I know a lot of Zergs who just will never go ultras in a late game PvC. They think they're complete garbage, but they are an effective and fast way to liquidate your gas bank. Oh wow,
ooh, that's a nice plague, I would
say.
Yeah. Here's this Reaver, kind of exposed, but oh yeah, there he goes down.
Reaver gets sniped. I don't know if it was out of Scarabs or something. I don't know. Reavers sometimes they just decide not to fire. So. Oh man, Plague and Lurkers is an absolutely disgusting combination. They're just gonna chop these Dragoons up like nothing. Look at that, every spine is a kill. And Vegamox is just exploding with his macro. I mean, he's gonna have trouble boxing everything that quickly, sending everything. He can just basically A-move at this point, and Baal is gonna have to be in a defensive position to sort of withstand this attack.
Yeah, I think Vegamox has done a good job of seeing the whole map, and then he really hasn't even had to place any kind of like static defenses or worry about any kind of harassment on his expansions, which he's taken a lot of expansions around the map, so he's in a good spot here for sure.
Fourth base up, Baal is not mining yet, but the mineral only is not mining yet for Vegamox. That's his fifth base. And I think this is a reasonably solid defensive position for Baal as long as he's got enough storms. Oh, I don't know. He's got 1 Templar. Oh, and here comes the attack. He's just going to pounce on the cannons. Defiler in here as well. Oh, Cracklings are so dirty, man. Look at, they just melt everything. These are 2-1 Cracklings as well.
Baal's trying to bring in a Reaver here, so that might... Oh, he's got 2 Reavers
Double
in there.
Reavers.
Hopefully he can take out these Cracklings, but
Good
that is
shot.
a lot of Hydras back
Just
there.
focused.
Oh no, he's trying to bring it out now. Oh, and that shuttle gets taken out.
Dark
Maybe this DT
Templar.
can do some damage. I don't see an Overlord here.
Nope, no Overlords yet. Defiler's just chilling in the back. Oh, these are 2-2 Hydras. Jeez. These upgrades for Zerg. He's got triple upgrades running. That's really oh, good storm on the
Saves
ramp.
the DT from the storm. That's good.
Yeah.
He's getting 7 kills now.
So he lost his third, but he has another third already running. Unfortunately, it is mineral only. I think that, you know, he does have 1200 gas banked, but that's going to be gone very quickly. 6th base up for Vegamox. He's taking this natural.
Yeah,
now.
and he's basically mined out as main and net here, where Vegamox has a lot of expansions, and he's really not mined out the first two bases.
Units just streaming across. I feel like Vegamox felt no pressure this entire game. That first Zealot attack didn't really accomplish much. And from then on, it was just Zerg being huge the entire game.
Yeah, this was definitely a strong game from Vegamox. He's a good player. I played him. I'm pretty sure I lost to him too. So
yeah,
not surprising that he's able to pull this off.
Very impressive macro. He was ahead in supply for almost the entire game.
Oh, and here he's gonna get this DT now, I think.
Yeah. Yeah, there he goes. Archon is gonna make the Brave Last Stand with 5 HP. And yeah, I think this third base just didn't come into effect. Vegamox is on infinite bases. GG, good luck at next round if your team makes it.
Well, that was a good game, I'd say.
Yeah, that was a good game. That was just a PvZ domination. Like I think Ball played well, and he was set up to take some good fights, but I think Zerg just hit that critical mass a little bit too quickly. So that leaves us at 2-4. Team 5 with 2 points, Samyang Fire with 4. You'll notice there were only 6 games. That's because there were 3 walkovers. So did Samyang drop the ball and give us 3 walkovers and series? No, they didn't. We had 3 walkovers on our team. So it was the final match score was 2-7 in favor of Samyang Fire.
Oh, did we really have 3 walkovers?
Yeah, we had 3 walkovers.
Okay,
Our
that
team
explains it.
Our team just did not show up, man. We did
Well,
not show
definitely
up.
good games from the Samyang Fire
Yes.
players. Vegamox looked strong, as well as that guy who went for all the starports looked pretty good in TVZ.
Yeah.
Who else won for them?
Kanzaki.
Yeah,
Kanzaki
played
strong
well.
strong Terran player as well. They definitely played well. Very good.
That 9-hatch in base to
Yeah.
take out Bint was a. I mean, that's a good build for a best of 1, definitely, like you were saying.
Yeah,
And
absolutely.
then I'm trying to think of the last win they had. Hermu went for the double starports, and it got countered. It was like a very safe Terran opening to expand and get that engineering bay.
Yeah, that was sort of a weird game. That was one of those games where you win without ever leaving your base, kind of thing.
Yeah, he never really had to move out, which was interesting.
It was just
Hermu just saw the writing on the wall, and he couldn't land that expansion CC.
Yeah, so no fantasy GG timing there. He definitely knew that he was beaten in that situation. So,
but our Protoss came through that Snail was able to win his game. Yep. I think that was a PvZ. Could be wrong. And then
against K-Clone.
That was like the first game we did, and then Infested Reen won his PvP, and Infested Reen and Snail both, I think, won in pretty good fashion.
Oh, very
I was impressed with their play.
Yeah, very convincing play. I think it would have been interesting to see those series go to a best of 3, but best of 1, anything can go. It definitely brings out the bizarre, interesting builds to try and sneak a fast one on your opponent. So, well played. Good luck to Samyang in the semifinals, actually. They're going on to the semifinals. I'm not sure who they play. I think they play not one legit player. I think. I'm not actually sure. I'd have to check on that. But that's it for us, guys. Tune in to Gorgonoth's channel, because he is going to be casting the other match of the quarterfinals. That's going to be Team Drag versus Team Beast over on twitch.tv/ I believe it's twitch.tv/ Gorgonoth. But I will be hosting him when he goes live. That's going to be